They are very hard to get by. I mean, look at this. Right now, North Carolina averaging 13 goals in the season, Syracuse 14, 8 and 7 goals respectively. They can shut out the best offenses in the country.
The goalkeeper for Duke today, Patrick Jamison, and Matthew Nunes for Virginia as we get ready for the opening face-off here today from Charlottesville. And Duke and Virginia for the right to move on to the ACC tournament. It's going to be Blue Devils' possession to get things started here today.
And Duke, unlike years past, really a midfield-oriented team with Sloat and Johnson being big physical athletes. McAdory this year has played kind of midfield and attack, has found his way to the attack spot. But again, I still think this is a Duke team that's going to look to initiate from the midfield all game long.
Ben Johnston here, the midfielder, the sophomore, number 19, as they work it around behind the net here for Andrew McAdory. Duke coming off an 11-7 win over Syracuse last week. As you talked about, if they don't win this game today, Matt, I mean, they're number 9 in the country coming in. I mean, do you feel like they got an at-large bid, or is that in question if they don't get this one here today?
You'd like to think that they're probably in, but it's going to be close. I mean, especially as they get one on the doorstep here, get the first goal of the game. But this is a Duke team that, again, I think they definitely need this win to solidify their place and even maybe one more in the ACC tournament. I mean, the resume is pretty sound, but there's a lot of talent in the country. The Ivy is so strong. The Big Ten has been really strong. So I've been shocked before, right? Where a team you think is in, it doesn't find their way. But this is a Duke team that, again, I think if they get in, they can make a lot of noise just given their athleticism and how well they're playing on the defensive end.
Let's take it for a teaching moment here from that play on the sideline. What would you say to younger players about that? Right? He's trying to make a play, but it goes right to Duke, and they get an easy one.
It's kind of like in basketball, right? You don't save the ball under your own basket. Right there, Fulton going towards the sideline, gets it. If you're you have to eat that or chuck it away from your cage. You can't backhand it to the most dangerous place in the field.
Angle key there going up against Henry Metz of the faceoff. Duke has it here again. They've got the 1-0 advantage on the goal from McAdory. Just underway here today in this final regular season game of the year in conference play. And that's how tough it is, right, in this league, too, with only 5 teams. We were talking about it. It's like you're top 10 in the country, and you're finding yourselves in a game where you have to win to get into the tournament. And a big game coming up later today. Another shot and a score as Tomas Delgado puts it in for Duke, and it's quickly a 2-0 advantage.
2 face-off violations for Virginia, 2 possessions and 2 goals for the Blue Devils. Tomas Delgado, his first goal of the season. Does a nice job, rolls back to his strong right hand, moves to the middle of the field, increases his shooting angle, and then the nice plant and release. Duke clicking on all cylinders, and again, a 2-0 lead in lacrosse, usually not a big deal. You know what it is? When you've won 19 straight regular season games, Virginia definitely thinking about what can go wrong. It's 3 straight violations.
And Duke will capitalize 3 times in a row as Angelkey scores. Less than 2 minutes in, it's 3-0 Blue Devils. Horrendous start for Virginia here today.
Right here, just a nice job from McAdory in the 2-man game. Virginia miscommunicates. And Duke making it look easy on the offensive end.
And I was waiting for it. Timeout, Virginia. 1 minute and 50 seconds in. 3 face-off violations. Duke's capitalized on all 3. They lead it 3-0 early. We'll be back. Delgado and Angelkey to get things started. 1 minute and 50 seconds in, prompting a timeout by Lars Tivany in Virginia. And here's your series history. We talked about the 19 straight regular season wins and 2-24 in the last 26. So, Matt, what is it? You go back to, I think it was 2005, right? You said you guys were down 10-0, and you had the first goal of the game for you guys at 2:07 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, the most memorable goal of my career, getting the one to get us down by 9. And it ended worse, too. I think we lost 17-2. So, yeah, glad to be a proud reason for this Duke domination in the matchup over the last number of years.
Well, then you just go to the next year and you guys win the national championship, so it's all good.
Virginia with really their first possession of the game.
And so what's the take on them offensively? You're talking about there needs to be more guys that have the ability to kind of win one-on-one matchups, and they just haven't been able to get any of those really too much this year, right?
Yeah, and careless mistakes like right there, just on a simple exchange. But again, this is a Virginia. This is a Virginia team, and really it's any team at the college level. You have to be able to create slides. So you have to put pressure on the defense with your athleticism, get them moving so you can find space and get uncontested shots. And Virginia just doesn't have that piece of the puzzle this season as they get their first goal of the game from Mankey.
Thomas Mankey coming around, a senior on the attack, and it's now 3-1.
Mankey from Dallas, Texas area. Right here again, see now, McKay Millen has Duke double team him. It opens up the space, and Mankey's able to attack the backside. Virginia hasn't had enough of that this year, but when you do that as any offense, it just makes things simpler. It makes the communication of the defense so much more important for them to play effective defense, and Virginia with a nice offensive set.
13 on the season now for him, and this has been the area of concern, at least from the start of this game, is at the faceoff. And now Virginia, without the violation, they end up winning it here. Good job. Picking this ball up now is Ben Weyer, and he brings it over into the offensive end now 3-1, and the Cavaliers have a chance to go back-to-back here.
And a tough start at the faceoff X for Virginia, but that's been a unit that's, in my opinion, outperformed in the ACC, over 50% against some of the best individuals in the country, but they come at you with a lot of different people. And so they're always looking for that matchup that's in their favor.
Ball goes up top here from McKay Millen. We're talking about him earlier this week, Matt. I know he's put on 107 shots on the campaign. He's knocked down 22 goals, but, at times you think maybe a little ill-advised in terms of the shot selection.
He forces the issue a little bit. Again, I think he is one of the more athletic players on Virginia, and they ask a lot of him. But he has definitely taken a lot of shots that shouldn't be taken early in games and at big moments.
Intercepted, taken away, and here comes Henry Bard as he brings it over for Duke. That's one thing that Virginia's done a really nice job with this year is in the caused turnover department. I mean, they are #1 in the conference, 10th in the country with almost 10 caused turnovers per game. Duke on the other side, #2, 17th in the country. They pick up one here as they lead it 3-1.
Yeah, both these teams have really good defenses. Virginia, I know the season hasn't gone the way they've wanted, but they've been pretty consistent on the defensive end. Right here, number 49, Schroeder, in my opinion, is by far their best player, having a breakout campaign. And you don't really hear a ton of him because they're not winning, but if they were having the season Virginia normally would have, he'd be on the short list for Defensive Players of the Year, in my opinion.
Well, that's what we were talking about with Coach Tiffany earlier. Both you guys were saying that it's like, who's really kind of a better defender in the country right now? And I'm sure the coaches, they recognize his skill level, right, Matt? Just because the team's not winning, they understand he is probably one of the best defenders in the nation.
Yeah, I think the coaching circles, if you were to ask them who the best defensive players are, he's on that list, but maybe not getting the media attention given Virginia's struggle, winning significant games.
Menke passes it over here now. Off the pick from Enderlead. Here's Schutz. Backed up by Millen.
And Schutz has really been kind of a missing piece for Virginia. He's a big, physical, athletic guy. You know, I think he's always kind of struggled with his shooting on the run.
Oh, nice feed in front, but a better save by Jamison that time. Excellent job at point-blank range on the offering from Enderlead.
Jamison's positioning in the cage is outstanding. You know, he has very limited wasted movements. And he's going to cover back post as well as anybody. But again, right now, Duke just catching Virginia in pretty, you know, easy offense. I mean, they're just generating shot after shot.
Here they're on that end, Hudson Hussman. And they recover it with Sunderland. Winner of this game gets the final spot in the ACC tournament next week. Loser is out for Virginia. It's really their season on the line here. They need to win this to continue. If not, their season's going to be over. For Duke, possible at-large if they don't win and don't get into the ACC tournament. And that's what's at stake here today. Shot, score, and Virginia with Schutz puts it in to cut it to a one-goal game.
McCabe Millen doing a nice job here early with his passing, finding the open Cavaliers. And right here, just a nice job, kind of taking it through X and throwing the back skip pass to Schutz, who buries it near side. And I really think that's important for McCabe Millen, is to start some passes early in the game, so the defense has to kind of slough off to open up his one-on-one ability and maybe give him opportunities to take some more uncontested shots. But right now, he is throwing accurate passes, putting his teammates in good positions to get high-quality shots.
Fourth leading scorer on the season for Virginia. And Duke wins the face-off here, as we're coming up on the halfway point of this first quarter. Behind the net here from Oliver. McAdory, and they'll work it back up top for Aiden Blake. Oliver again behind the net, gets hit, goes down, no call. Virginia on the takeaway. Nice defensive play. Here they come.
Yeah, great play from Erdman, number 20. He's got wheels. Virginia pushes in transition.
For the tie, no. Jamison on the save. Excellent outlet, and quickly right back up the field. Here come the Blue Devils. And the pass unable to be picked up by McAdory, going to the sideline. It's back to Virginia.
Virginia not having a lot of successes here with their stretch shooting, right? They're not able to shoot with really any efficiency and effectiveness from 10 yards out. You know, goalies are seeing it. No one really with a high heat type shot. And very shots from the outside.
What would you like to see different though offensively then, you know, if they're not able to get those? I mean, and it's tough because of guys not being able to dodge effectively as you would have liked. I mean got to work the ball around more.
Yeah, look, I think if you watch Virginia play, 23 Johnny Hackett is by far the most effective initiator on the offensive end. He is a lightning quick athlete. And they need more of that. They need to force defenses to slide.
Talking about the junior midfielder, number 23 in white for Virginia, but now Duke goes the other way here with a 3-2 lead and just under 6 minutes to play in the first quarter. It's over to McAdory, who scored the first goal of this game for Duke. They rattled off 3 straight on 3 straight face-off violations for Virginia. Then the Cavaliers have come back with Menke and Schutz to cut it to a 1-goal game. Sloat. Shot from the outside is good, and it's in from Mulliver with his first of the day.
And this is what we're talking about offensively, right? Like Max Sloat, a big physical dodging midi for Duke. He doesn't even really initiate a ton of offense, but Virginia's threatened. And so they slide, and now they ball watch, right? They're all kind of two men on him, and it then allows Malver to shot. The nice, accurate pass from Sloat, and then the quick release for Malver, high to low, gets his 30th of the season.
And this ground ball picked up here by the Cavaliers. It's alumni weekend here as well at Virginia. And Matt, tell me a little bit about what it's like first, when you've come back or when you've gone back for games, and then maybe the atmosphere and the alumni in the house here today for UVA.
It's always a special weekend, a lot, especially too for the former players to get back on campus and watch a game at what we would, as alumni, say is the best venue in college lacrosse. Especially when you're playing a Duke or any of the ACC teams, the energy and the atmosphere are going to be great, and you hope for the best lacrosse you can see.
Menke goes back up top. Shuts. Now Millen has started back in with 4 minutes to go in the first. Menke again. Checked by Connor Nolan. Menke gets free. Jameson got a piece.
6 seconds on the shot clock here. And so Virginia's going to have to go quick or just bury the ball in the corner.
Almost there in front as Enderlead was the target right in front of the goal, and it's going to go over to Duke. One thing Coach Timoney talked to us about this week was that they wanted to play completely worry-free in this game and play with the spirit of the game, and he didn't want them to worry about penalties or anything like that. Want to really try to be more aggressive, this game today. What are you seeing so far throughout the first quarter, Matt, in terms of that?
A little chaotic on the defensive end, right? I think most of Duke's set, goals outside of one kind of coming in unsettled situations. But Virginia, they weathered the storm, right? Like it could have gotten away from them pretty quickly. And now to only find themselves down 2 and have had some pretty good offenses set, they have to be feeling a little bit better than they were, a minute and a half into the game down 3-0.
Under 3 minutes to go now in the first quarter. Johnny Hackett stays with it. Millen. Millen feeds it in front, shot, score. It's Truett Sunderland. What a play.
McCabe Millen with his 3rd assist of the game. Doing a nice job with the touch of this pass. Again, a lot of the starts, Johnny Hackett gets his dodge, Duke slides. They have to change matchups. They're kind of scrambling on the inside. Now, again, this play happens, not immediately after that dodge, but now Duke doesn't have the matchups that they want. McCabe Millen against a short stick with the nice touch pass. I can't tell you how hard it is to throw those soft passes inside with accuracy. And Sunderland and McCabe Millen doing a nice job in the 2-man play right there.
Well, you said it, Matt. He's assisted on all 3 of their goals so far today. Millen's got 27 assists on the season, and Sunderland picks up the goal here for UVA. 30 goals now for him, which leads the team, and they're back within 1. Duke firing away there was Matt Christmas.
Matt Christmas, a threat in transition.
And also a threat here as well as Liam Kirschis puts it in for the goal, and that's quick. They respond right off the bat.
Kirschis, the freshman, making an impact here. And just a nice job. Again, this is an attackman being matched up against a short stick off an unsettled situation, and is able to be patient with his dodge. Again, just a standard question mark, quick release. Beats Nunes up high. Anytime you're an attackman matched up against a short stick, you're in trouble as a defense, especially if it's a dodger initiator.
Angle key. Trying to get it back here for Duke, number 9. Knocked around. Recovered for the moment by Virginia's Hudson Hussman. And it's right back now in the stick of the Blue Devils with McAdory.
And that play right there has been an issue for Virginia all year. Kirschis, the freshman, throwing his weight around the 50-50 ground balls. We talked about Virginia maybe lacking some of its historical athleticism, and Duke right there taking advantage of it.
Johnston, minute 35 to go. He shoots, and the save is made by Nunes.
But that's what Duke just does really well. I mean, big, athletic middies. You know, again, Nunes makes the save, but that was a heck of a dodge. He got a lot of pop on that release.
And right back the other way as Millen tries to put it on, and no one there, though, for the backup. Quick shot, Duke possession, as we talked about. Coming up next, North Carolina and Syracuse right after us here on the ACC network at 5 o'clock Eastern time. So what happens here in this game, if Syracuse beats North Carolina, Syracuse would be the co-champs when Notre Dame and Syracuse would have the head-to-head, so they'd be the number 1 seed in the tournament coming up next week. If Syracuse loses, UNC and Notre Dame would be co-champs, so then Notre Dame would get the number 1 seed thanks to the head-to-head win over North Carolina. So a lot on the line here, not only in this game. Winner gets into the tournament, the loser is out. And then that Syracuse-UNC game coming up right after us with implications on who gets the number 1 seed. Duke can hold here for the final shot of the first quarter. 25 seconds to go. Oliver.
And when we look at this possession, right, it all started actually with a ill-advised shot from Virginia with 1:17 left on the shot clock. No backup behind the cage.
Yep.
You know, you can hold possession there. And that's kind of been an issue all year. Just making the wrong play at the end of quarters in the big moments has really come back to bite this Virginia team in close games.
Let's see if it does affect him here, if Duke's able to get something with 9 seconds left here. Down to 5. Shot off the post. They almost got it. And Virginia is going to survive it there and end the first quarter down by 2. 5-3.
Of a lacrosse player. I mean, now the all-time leading scorer in college lacrosse, did it in fewer games than anyone. I mean, he is elite and just plays the game the right way.
Start of the second quarter here today from Charlottesville, Virginia. Duke and UVA, winner to the ACC tournament. The loser is out. And if it's UVA, their season would be over. For Duke, they would have to hope for an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. 10-4 on the season. And the second quarter is underway. Angle key. And Duke's going to retain possession here. All the way to the other end of the field. Here they come.
Look more like field hockey.
Yeah.
Duke now up 7-3 in the faceoff category. A lot of those not clean wins, 50-50 scraps. Doing a very nice job staying with those ground balls.
You talked earlier, Matt, about how different these teams are. I mean, Duke last year, they scored 7 goals in the first quarter in this game against Virginia. They rolled to an 18-12 win. That was in Durham. But of those 18 goals, 17 came from players not with the team this year, including 5 from Josh Sawada. So that shows you the difference in this year's Blue Devil squad.
And credit to Coach Janowski and the job that he's done with so many new players. The offense they run is special, and right there, a good offensive set. And
Curtis does it again, yeah.
The freshman, just with the nice offensive awareness to show near side, keep his feet moving, running up the field, gets his hips rotating. Man, no angle, far post. Duke offense, we talked about how good their defense was all season, but their offense looking equally as potent and powerful right now here in Charlottesville.
So back-to-back goals here from Curtis. The last one at the end of the first quarter, and now this one here to begin the second, and it's a 6-3 lead for Duke. They had a 3-goal advantage to start the game, 3-0, and now back on it here at 6-3. Face-offs, 7-4 now in favor of the Blue Devils. And their lead. Hackett's got it. Back up top, shooting wide to the right that time by Ryan Colsey.
But good offense there from Virginia, dodging down the wing, throwing it, throw X. A nice timed cut on the inside. But right here, 23, it's Hackett. I mean, he to me is, now you see you have Duke rotating and something good should happen.
Sunderland's got it here for Virginia. Feeds it in the middle, and a check from behind there, that time by Schutz. But it's going to be picked back up here as Hackett will put it back in.
Nice team defense, collapse into the middle there from Duke.
It's by Quaid, he shoots and scores. So Johnny Hackett off the restart. And it's 6-4 now. Virginia's back within 2.
Johnny Hackett was one of the biggest transfers in college lacrosse. Has struggled to find his way as making a big impact for this Cavaliers offense, but I just think the more touches he can get, the better things will get for this Virginia offense. And right there does a nice job taking it from X to his strong left hand. He's just so fast and doesn't need a lot of space to put the ball in the back of the net.
Transfer from Bryant, originally from Illinois, with a goal here for Virginia. His 5th of the season. And we're back to the face-off here, where it's 7-4 in favor of Duke in that category. Can UVA get it? They will. Nice job. It's Will Erdman that time. Coming up on 3 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Colsey now for Virginia. There's Menke, who scored the first goal of the game for the Cavaliers today. Senior from Dallas.
A former attackman now inverting behind the cage.
Taking Luke Warrington all the way to the back there. Now he passes it behind the net here for Millen, who has 3 assists already today. Millen now looking to shoot, and the save is made. Bouncing it off the turf. Lost some on that one as Jamison outlets it, and here come the Devils. Warrington.
And I just feel McCabe feels a sense of, I need to create, I need to be the person making it happen all the time. And he's so talented, but at times he forces the play and takes low-quality shots. Taking the first shot, maybe not the right shot. And he needs to kind of work on that, figure that out to become and get to the next level as a college player.
We were discussing it even a little bit more during the break, Matt, that final minute, 17 seconds of the first quarter where the shot was taken, no backup, right? Those are kind of those plays, right, where they've been 1 or 2 or 3 plays off this season that you got to hold back on that one, right?
Yeah, and again, it's tough, right? Like if you think you're open, oftentimes your goal scorers like to shoot. But if you look throughout the course of the season, a careless turnover against Johns Hopkins at the end of the first half leads to a Hopkins goal. Against Notre Dame, it's a close game. He takes kind of an early shot from the outside. Notre Dame gets it, saves it, clears it, scores. The whole momentum shifts. And again, it's not those plays that's determining the outcomes, but it's the small things that matter. And Virginia just has kind of been on the wrong side of those throughout the course of the year, and that's why they're 6-7 playing for their life today.
Well, in that Hopkins game, it came down to a 1-goal game. Ultimately, it was a 13-12 win for Johns Hopkins. That was back on March 1st. And this shot off the mark here as Curtius was looking for a hat trick, 55 for Duke.
And Noon's standing on his head right now. He's seen a lot of pepper on the inside, holding his post and doing a nice job.
4 saves so far for him today, 3 on the other side for Jamison. Nice little spin move and the shot and the score for Graham Blake.
Graham Blake gets his 13th goal of the season, but this offensive possession for Duke starts here. McCabe forces the issue with his offhand going into the double team, and against a goalie like Jamison, going to be tough to get that by. And then here, Blake just does a nice job. I mean, talk about setting up your defenseman. Chismar plays his outside shoulder, sets up the inside roll, and he takes that extra step and opens up the cage to bury it past Nunes.
That was an excellent play right there to use his body and score it from Ross, California. Graham Blake, graduate student, transfer to Harvard, makes it 7-4 Duke. Matt, how about the reaction on that, or, you know, as an offensive player, like, can you talk to us about what you're thinking there on that, you know, sequence where he spins, uses his body, recognizing, I guess, where the defender's kind of playing him or is going to play him?
Look, I think it's repetition. You understand, as a Dodger, where the defensive players' momentum's going to be taking them off a ball movement, and he set him up perfectly, right? It was like, hey, I'm going to take the step to the outside and get him to overcommit to my outside shoulder, and then all your momentum's still going up the field north-south, and you're able to get to the middle and create that extra angle. So again, a lot of it's, I think, natural instinct as an athlete. I think a lot of it's repetition, but also understanding team offense.
1 minute, reset 60.
All right, it's our first flag of the game here today. Here it is again.
Right there, it's, you know, loose ball. You know, again, they're going to call it high. Tough call, I think, on Boyer there for Duke.
44% on the season for Virginia in the man-up offense. 16th in the country. Out of the 74 teams here, now they've got a chance to cut it back down to 2.
Just too much holding the ball right now in this offensive set. Got to get the ball moving quickly. And then it opens up, right? I mean, early on, holding it, looking the inside, but then they start banging the ball behind X, rotating, they get the skip pass, and now you're talking offensively. And I think this Virginia man up has done a nice job all year, especially for a team that doesn't have a ton of range from the outside. Ryan Colsey, who I think is the most improved player on this Cavaliers team with his 29th goal of the season.
I mean, Matt, it would pretty much go without saying, right, that when you're a man up, obviously, and there's a little bit more space and room for movement, you know, they might be more effective on those on the outside. You're saying normally in the course of play that it's not their strong suit this year.
Right, look, I think they're excelling based on the players that they have on that unit, but usually for like elite man up, you need that range shooter. So the defenses have to kind of press out more than they'd like.
Good job winning the face-off here. Now a chance to cut it to 1 here in this unsettled situation. A deep one from the outside there from Ben Weyer.
And Virginia's a program that's kind of been the trailblazers for playing quick and fast and being okay with bad shots. But I think this team's a little different because they don't have the athletes in the middle of the field. I think you need to be maybe a little more thoughtful around how important possession is versus take that shot from the outside against a good goalie like Jameson.
7 minutes gone by in the second quarter. 7-5, Duke by 2 with possession here. And it got knocked out of the stick there. Kirschus couldn't control it. George Fulton, 16 in white for the Cavaliers.
They have to get over the midfield here quickly.
1 second, they got it. Erdman. Now let's see what they get out of this possession. Schutz has it.
And again, if I'm them, I'm looking for Johnny Hackett, get him back on the field. They're running Mankey instead, a similar player, maybe not quite the athlete.
Yep, number 23 out right now here for Virginia. Schutz. Here's Millen. Mankey to put it back in.
I really do like McCabe kind of in that midfield position. To me, he seems almost more natural, dodging in front of the cage than behind the cage.
Well, they got Sunderland behind there right now, and they race to go out on him as it's reversed around here, and the shot clock is down to 5. Had to shoot something. And a violation over to Duke. Let's not forget about some of the injuries too, right, that Virginia's been kind of dealing with a little bit this year as well, right, Matt? And
yeah, I mean, this is a Virginia team that, you know, had a lot of extra players from the COVID years and transfers, and so they were going to have a lot of new faces. And had a very talented freshman class, and 3 of their top players, Dunkel, Brown from Texas, Colsey, all down with injuries, unable or unavailable for this season. So Virginia's cupboard is full, you know, but just with injuries, haven't been able to develop some of these younger players this season.
Yeah, Coach Tiffany was giving a lot of credit to Brown, saying, you know, he's one of those yes sir, no sir type of players, and you know, he's over there on the sideline even without playing with, you know, the iPads and, you know, getting the balls and doing all the stuff and paying attention, you know, and trying to learn and grow. Although he can't get out on the field, he's saying, I hope everybody else is doing that as well and taking advantage of that time, even though you're not able to get on the field. It'll be different next year. This shot deflected on its way in. Big hitting going on here. Virginia the other way. Sunderland's got it. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Schutz. Schutz, defender falls down. He shoots and a save by Jameson.
And a nice job from Jameson. And a nice dodge from Schutz. Something he's got to do more for this Cavalier offense is make moves to the middle of the field.
Stay tuned after us here today. Once again, Syracuse and UNC battling at 5 o'clock Eastern here on the ACC Network, with the #1 seed in the upcoming ACC tournament on the line, depending on who wins that game. The loser of this game eliminated from the tournament field. Over the top 4 of the 5 get in for next week. That's shot off the mark that time from McAdory.
And both these teams remind me, maybe it was like UNC from a year ago, right? Like disappointed season, but a lot of young pieces, and look what's happened this year. I mean, again, to me, I think Duke has a little bit fuller of a lineup this year, a little bit more athletic, but again, these teams are built for the future.
19 straight regular season wins for Duke over Virginia, trying to make it 20 here today. 3:45 left in this first half. Virginia ball. Millen. Notre Dame was down early, Matt, 5-1. They're now up 8-7 against Penn.
Penn, a team that, elite close defenseman, elite goalie, can make your life hard. But Notre Dame's just talented. Kavanaugh, their defense so good. Good in the cage. I mean, again, that's talk about a program clicking on all cylinders.
The way that Notre Dame gets the #1 seed would be if Syracuse loses to UNC later today, because UNC and Notre Dame would be co-champs, and Notre Dame has the head-to-head, so they'd get the #1 seed. So cheering for UNC later today for the Fighting Irish when they finish up their game. And we get a timeout. 2 minutes, 58 seconds to go in the first half. Duke calls time, leading by 2. And a couple of plays that could have maybe turned the tide one way or the other, right, that we've seen from the Cavaliers so far in this game, Matt?
Yeah, it's kind of the story of their season where, they play moments of really good lacrosse, but then just make mistake after mistake, save the ball on the end line, face-off violation, taking early shots in possessions. Right there, just too early. Coach Tiffany obviously not happy about it. But again, they're down 2. Right? I think in the settled plays, Virginia has been the better team in this game, but it's the mistakes, the kind of things that they're doing that they shouldn't be that are costing them.
Well, I mean, let's say this, right? They had 3 straight face-off violations to start the game, and Duke scored on all 3 of those. Okay, so take it from that point on, because that happened in the first 1 minute and 50 seconds of this game. So if you go from 150 into the game up to this point, it's Virginia 5 and Duke 4. So.
And talking about right here, out of a timeout, Virginia offsides, loses possession.
Yep.
That's unacceptable for a team that's in a win-in game. The whole season coming down to this.
Can't have that. You're right. 6 turnovers for each team now in this first half. McAdory walking it all the way up close to midfield. As Johnston comes in and he has it. Coach Tiffany not happy. The last sequence, the last call. See if his team can play defense here and keep it a 2-goal game. They do. They come up with another caused turnover. #1 in the ACC, 10th in the nation. Can they score? Jamison on the save. No. And the offering from Millen.
Nice. Jamison came to play today. What a great save.
That's the aggressiveness that Tiffany wanted to see out of his team in this game here today. They've made a few of those type of plays. Just unable to capitalize the other way. They had a good opportunity. 7-5 still.
And here again, here's Schroeder, number 49.
Oh, and a nice pick, and it frees up Muller. They're going to say no in the crease. No goal that time.
Either in the crease or a moving pick.
Okay, yeah, the moving pick, right. Yeah, good call, man. I thought they had a really good pick there on that one, and the goal gets waved off.
But again, here for Virginia offensive set right now, 20 seconds into the shot clock. No ball movement. Just kind of standing out towards the midfield line, letting Duke get in, not giving yourself the opportunity to have prolonged offensive sets, and another violation from Virginia.
And they could have held it for the final shot of the quarter and the half, and instead it goes over to Duke, and now they've got the opportunity here. With just 35 seconds remaining, And they have not scored since 9:51 to go in this second quarter, but they still have a 2-goal lead. And it's kind of what we've been talking about. Coach Tiffany knows. It's like, man, there's so many opportunities here. And a couple of tough calls as well as they take a timeout with 31 seconds to go before the half. Winner to the ACC tournament. The loser is out. If it's Virginia that doesn't get this win today, their season will be over. Duke has won 19 straight in the regular season over the Cavaliers, going back to 2005 when Matt was playing in that game. But, you know, this is crazy, right? And there's been 2010, Virginia getting the win in the NCAA tournament. But regular season, they have certainly struggled against this Blue Devil team. And this history goes back a long time.
Virginia's won 4 national championships during that streak,
right,
as a program. And
right.
So you think about weird things and just a mental edge or advantage. Like, I don't know if there's anything like it in any sport, let alone just college lacrosse.
24-2 since 2005 for Duke in this series. This is the 90th meeting of all time between these two here today. Coming up at the half, we're going to talk about the women's side in the ACC tournament. North Carolina, BC. We'll have a preview of that championship matchup coming up, and then also a look ahead to our next game right after us, North Carolina and Syracuse, where the #1 seed in the ACC tournament is on the line, pending who wins that game as well. All that and more is coming up at the half, so stay tuned for that. Back to action, 25 seconds to go. McAdory has it for Duke. Comes off the pick here, set by Blake, trying to feed it into the middle. Knocked down, going after it is Curtius, can't get it. Virginia trying to work it the other way, and that's going to be the end of the half. And Duke will take a 7-5 lead into the locker room here at halftime.
Virginia making mistakes, but fighting hard, down by 2. To me, Duke played a pretty solid first half, playing great individual defense.
Turnovers 9 for Duke, 8 for Virginia. 6 caused turnovers, though, for Virginia in that first half. 2 for the Blue Devils. That got the ball back to them a few times. They had some really good opportunities. Weren't able to cash in on all of them, though. And let's see what they can do here in the second half. A berth in the ACC tournament is on the line. If Virginia doesn't get this win, their season's over. For Duke, they would have to hope for an at-large if they don't win this game. Of course, #9 in the country right now at 10-4. But 1-2 in conference play. Virginia 0-3, and can this be their first win and a chance to play for a tournament title? We will see. Second half is underway. And Duke ultimately with McAdory coming up with this ground ball and winning the faceoff.
Good battle both ways. McAdory doing a nice job showing towards the midfield to gain possession for Duke.
Goalkeepers in this game here. Matthew Nunes for Virginia. 4 saves. Patrick Jamison with 6 for the Blue Devils.
Jamison was excellent in the first half, stealing a couple from the Cavaliers.
Max Sloat here for Duke. Up top, getting free, shooting. The save is made that time. Delgado on the shot. And the save from Nunes. The rebound, and Virginia with Hussman. And they're going to throw it away. Or will they pick it back up? They will. On the sideline, it's kept in. And it's Millen who's got it as he goes behind the net. Spins, shoots, and a save by Jamison.
Virginia not having a ton of success in early offense. Possession, they have to realize how important possessions is for this team in these big matchups. Games get away from them when they start pushing it up tempo too soon, too early, taking that first shot, not the right shot.
Well, it's Sunwell that saved it from going out that time, and at least to his almost. The last time they tried to do that on the sideline, threw it right to the Duke player, and they end up getting a goal out of it. So let's see if this sequence results in something here for Duke as Papendek has it. Midfielder goes behind the net now for McAdory. Papendek comes a slide. Works it back here behind the net. Molliver. Hayden Blake. Blake shoots, save made by Nunes.
Credit the freshman Hudson Hossman with a nice defense, forcing him down the angle to a low angle shot.
And a really nice outlet that started things off that time by Nunes as he got it to Weyer. Then the shot that time no good. Millen. And did they not have a back? No, they have the back up there. It's going to be Sunderland to put it back in.
Nice job for Virginia in transition, generating a high-quality shot. That's a good shot early in the possession versus just the possession prior.
Yeah. Other players down the field that time as Millen controls it here. Comes off the pick. Behind the net. Feet in front. Jamison on the save and the shot from Schutz.
Aiden McGuire with the one-man clear there for Duke. I mean, talk about an athlete. One of the best D-middies in the country. Him and Ramsey from Notre Dame, in my opinion, as good as it gets.
Duke started this game off with 3 goals from McAdory, Delgado, and Anglekey. Virginia came back with 2 to cut it to 1. Duke had went up 6-3. Now 7-5, 2-goal game here with 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Defense has been pretty good here for Virginia.
On the 6-on-6 settle, they've been outstanding.
Yeah. That pass knocked down, and losing his stick that time was McAdory. And it's Truitt. They're making Truitt Sunderland who comes up with it here for Virginia, and now over to Ben Weyer.
And it'd be interesting to see. Virginia has a tendency, when they push in transition, they have their D-middies and their long stick stay on the offensive zone longer than any other team that I've seen in the country, because they like the idea of playing 4-on-4 versus 6-on-6. To me, I don't think they've had a ton of success with that. I'd love to see them start subbing earlier in the offensive possessions. Get your key personnel on the field to generate the offense versus try to play kind of this unique clicky type offense.
Well, and you've been asking about number 23, Johnny Hackett, a few times here today as well, too. I don't see him.
He hasn't been on the field since he hasn't been on the field since he scored that goal. And a lot of that has to do with their subbing packages.
Millen finally puts one in on his 8th shot of the day, his first goal to go along with 3 assists, and Virginia is within 1.
McCabe Millen getting his first of the day. It's been a tough year shooting for the sophomore. He had such an outstanding freshman campaign. They're asking a lot more of him now. And look, shooting there's a lot of it that can get in your head. And right here, one thing he is going to continue to do is fire away. And gets his first of the game.
And it's a 1-goal game here with just over 5 minutes into the third quarter. And Virginia has scored 3 of the last 4. And how about this? Anglekey taking a bunch of hits and keeping possession here for Duke. And back for McGuire. But you have to go back to 9 minutes and 51 seconds left in the second quarter, where Duke scored their last goal. They had taken a 7-4 lead. Virginia's come back with 2. That's Blake again.
And a nice job by Fulton, number 16, recovering after that 2-man pick.
McAdory. Will Erdman guarding him.
Virginia's going to have to slide early here.
Tried to get it to Molliver and over his head, but recovered by the Blue Devils. They've got 14 to shoot. Graham Blake takes a big hit, still with it. Cross field, and the ball is knocked away. 3 seconds to shoot. And a shot clock violation. They're going to let him play it out here, though, and now will they say...
I think a break from Virginia there. I think they did call the shot clock, but to me it looked like Fulton had possession.
That's what I thought too.
Ball don't lie as Duke gets it back after the turnover.
Doesn't matter. Johnston. And over to Delgado. And now Sloat. It's a little bit of a step here as he goes back over to the other side of the field. Ball knocked out of the stick that time with Johnston.
And that was Schroeder, number 40. Now we talked about how highly we think of him as a player. Just long, rangy, athletic. I mean, not often do you see someone who's 6'5", that big, who can bench 350 pounds and be that athletic.
Yeah, Schroeder, second on this team, third on this team in caused turnovers. He's got 13 on the season, or number 49 in white. You talk about his bench. I mean, he's 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230. I mean, an opposing presence.
Nice job from and that was a good set. Schutz drove hard to the top, right 5-5, threw it to X, and they just missed an open, I think, Balsamo on the crease.
Millen's pass going to be recovered. Balsamo's got it back over to Millen here. 15 to shoot. Millen with the last goal. A little bit too high for Balsamo. Trying to keep it on their side. Not going to happen there that time by...
There's Schroeder again.
Cavaliers. Oh, it is recovered. They've got it. In front. Shot, score. It is Sunderland to tie the game at 7.
Virginia's been missing plays like this all season, but they know how important this game is. Physical. Schroeder in the middle of the field caused the turn. Yeah, I mean, obviously you don't want to be the lone man out in this match in the ACC tournament, but again, if you look at it, I mean, it means a lot more to Duke and Virginia than I think the other teams in the conference right now.
It's been a streak of 18 minutes and 30 seconds now where Duke has not scored in this game after leading at 7-4, and Virginia has come back with 3 straight. Colsey, Millen, and Sunderland. And now they've got a chance to take their first lead of the day. Schutz. Checked by Keith Boyer. Behind the net. Menke. Here they come. Goalie's out of the cage. Now back in it is Jamison. Menke. Works it back here for Sunderland. 15 to shoot. Back to Sunderland. Behind the net, Menke.
It was a good time to drive hard to his left hand.
5 seconds. Oh, he flips it in. What a shot from Thomas Menke. And Virginia's got their first lead of the day.
Or do the exact opposite. Menke, very heavy left-handed player. I was thinking he would drive up hard left and inside roll. Takes it to the right in a shot that, again, when I was playing, not predominant. Didn't see it ever. And now the accuracy, and just look at extends the reach, creates angle, snaps his wrist to the far post. Just unheard of, but commonplace now.
Yeah. Now there was a flag down at the end of the sequence here. And this is going against Virginia after the goal. I'm trying to see what happened here.
I think they're going to call unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, Lars Tiffany wants an explanation.
So now no face-off.
4 straight. 14th of the season for Menke. And this is probably what Virginia fans, I'm sure, and Coach Tiffany said, where's this been all year? I mean, this is typical what you expect from this program, and putting it on here with 4 in a row, and their defense has been outstanding. They've held Duke scoreless for almost 20 minutes. But then they get a flag after the goal.
Yeah, interesting.
Might have been something that was said, right? You think, Matt?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, it doesn't look like it was a celebration, and if that was the penalty, you know, I don't love that call, but it looks like it's Colsey in the cage, so maybe something happened that, you know, you couldn't see or something was said. Could be the only explanation.
And it's non-releasable. I mean, if the good news is if you're Virginia, you've got the second best man-down defense in the entire nation, so we'll see if that holds up here as they hang on to their 1-goal lead. First lead of the day, 30 seconds left on the extra man. Duke and firing away from the outside, Max Sloat. And it'll be Eric Molliver to put it back in. Yeah, that's pretty incredible, right? Only 7 goals given up this season.
And I'm really just not a fan in general of unreleasable penalties. I think, you know, I think it puts too much power in the officials' hands, and that really can change games and outcomes, especially with the face-off being such a prominent part of our game. You know, I just don't love it, especially even with like the high hits, you know, the 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute kind of like subjective, you know, call that can be made. I just, it's too bang for me to give that much power to an official.
Matt, would you rather just have it a longer penalty and just get rid of the non-releasables? Is that what you're kind of saying, or?
I think that's a better. I think that's a better outcome, right? I just, you know, because again, the face-off, now you're face-off 2 versus 3. It's like possession after possession. It's just, it means too much.
So maybe instead of the 1 minute, you say 1 minute non-releasable, you say, hey, it's 2 minutes. Yeah, I got you. Well, it's over anyhow, and now we're back at even strength to the shot off the side of the net. That time from McAdory. It's loose. And fighting for it as the official's almost in the way there. This is Blake trying to get it back for Duke. It's still loose. Scooped up by Engelke. He lost it. Checking it was Luke Graham. And now Duke does have it. Ben Johnston.
And I'm not sure why the shot clock reset there. And there's another penalty in Virginia.
Max Christmas with the shot. Matt Christmas, here's the flag. All right, so we're heating up here. 3:21 to go in the third quarter. Here's the call.
White penalty number 44, cross-check to the head. 1 minute, full time. Video review, please.
Well, so here we go again, Matt, right? Weyer on the penalty in the 1 minute. And I want to take a look at it.
We'll try to take a look here on the penalty call.
Yeah, well, oh, okay.
It's not to the head per se. It's to the, but certainly a cross check.
Two of them there? Well, there's one right there. Well, not really egregious. I think, yeah.
It's not a, in my opinion, forcible blow to the head, but certainly a cross check, which I think would remove the minute component to it.
Review. The play stands. 1 minute. Indirect contact to the head. Full time. Reset.
A violent play from Ware, unnecessary, in my opinion there. Yeah, you want to be physical, but you're going to have your hands spread. They're going to call it every time. And again, since it did slide up a little bit, the refs felt the need to attach the unreleasable component to it. Certainly a penalty.
Yeah, maybe the extra extension there at the end kind of got him up into the head, like he was saying, but I'm
it
with
certainly
you.
slid. The initial contact was, chest high, but his arms do extend,
right.
And I think the refs are going to lean towards, that high hit to the head area to protect the players there.
So Duke on the EMO here for a minute with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this third quarter. They have not scored since just under 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. And that one is taken away as Tommy McNeil has it for Virginia.
Some of these penalties that Virginia has taken, maybe not a bad thing given how good their man-down defense has been all year.
Right. Yeah, look, to be able to overcome a few mistakes and a few face-off violations that got turned into points, some errant shots, a couple of turnovers that have led to direct goals for Duke. I mean, all that being said, you got to give Virginia a lot of credit in this game. Their defense has stepped it up. They've come up with 4 straight goals here on the offensive end to take an 8-7 lead.
And in reality, I mean, Duke's on the 6-on-6 has scored 1.5 goals, really. Virginia has handled them in the settled situations.
Right. Coming up on 2 minutes to go here in this third quarter. It's up top for Millen. Enderlead. In front of the net there is Sunderland. It was open for the moment, and the shot that time is off, and it's going to be Menke to put it back in.
And Enderlead is a shoot-first midi, so he may have seen Sunderland, but just didn't feel comfortable getting the pass out.
Well, and now this one's flipped up in the air here.
The shot clock.
Shot clock violation, yeah.
I'm not sure. It looked like Schutz to me hit the back of the cage with that shot.
Well, and now an errant pass here for Duke, and Virginia's going to take advantage of it. They come the other way as Ware's back in.
And I think this is a good time to push it for Virginia.
And that shot from Colsey, and they have the back up there with 1:27 to go in the third. Millen with Charlie Johnson on it.
And for Virginia here, you do look, I think what they didn't do early in the game was take advantage of the end of the quarter, right? So here, if I'm them, I don't initiate offense to give Duke a chance.
Well, there's about a 21-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock here, and now it's going over to Duke with 58 seconds to go.
This will come back to bite Virginia for sure. Initiated offense way too early in the set. They could have killed it to, have about 10, 15 seconds left in the quarter, not give Duke a chance. They initiated early offense, miscue, and things usually turn out not in your favor when you make mental mistakes like that.
35 seconds to go before the end of the third. This is Johnston who has it for Duke. Duke also had 0 shots on goal in their last 2 extra man opportunities. So you're talking about that great man-down defense for Virginia, and it's proved to be effective once again today. 20 seconds left. Third quarter. A quarter which has belonged to Virginia with 4 goals. Duke hasn't scored since 9:41 to go in the second quarter. 10 seconds left here in the third. From the outside, Johnston gets hit, still has it, shoots wide to the right 4 seconds left. Stays with Duke. Pappendick will put it in. 4 seconds in front, and just missing the cage to the right that time was Liam. They've had 6 shots on goal during that time.
Illegal cross, deep pocket. 1 minute, full time.
And who is it on? Number 8 for... Got it. Okay, so that's a Duke penalty on Pappendick, number 8.
Yep.
In the game of lacrosse, they monitor how deep your pocket is, and clearly his had a little too much depth to give Virginia possession and a minute full-time served man-up opportunity.
And how about that? The start of the 4th quarter for the Cavaliers with a 1-goal lead and on a 4-in-a-row streak here right now. This could be huge. They get one here. 35 seconds left on the EMO.
If I'm Virginia, I get the ball up top here. Mankey is kind of, the low corner is very exposed right now from Duke.
Well, Sunderland's got it. They go inside and it's saved by Jamison as he tries to spin away from Sunderland now.
I think Sunderland saw what I saw, but that's not the place to throw that pass from below GLE across. It needs to come from in front of the cage, down diagonal versus directly horizontal across the face of the goal.
Duke with just the 6 shots on goal over the last 25 minutes here as we're a minute into the 4th quarter. I mean, the pressure is on the Cavaliers, you know, coming into this game. I'd say really both, because obviously the winner goes to the ACC tournament, the loser is out. But if you're Duke, you know, you've got that number 9 next to your name, then you got 10 wins on the season, an at-large possibility. Obviously, it's a little bit more pressure packed for Virginia. If they don't win, their season is over.
Yeah, and look, I think winning is a learned skill, and Duke's had the better of that throughout the course of the season. They've won close games. Virginia hasn't. Will that be a factor? Maybe.
Looking at a couple of them this season. Number 8, Syracuse at home. Virginia lost by 2. Talked about the Johns Hopkins game back in early March, 13-12 loss. There we go. Blue Devils behind the net. Oliver. That's going to be a shot clock violation. Yep.
Yeah, nice job from Schroeder, recognizing that the shot clock was counting down to not give up his position from in front of the cage. He let Duke play it out. If he comes behind, Duke may press the issue. And he saw that they didn't notice the shot clock was expiring.
And it's possessions, too. I mean, I feel like every time you turn around, it's Virginia's had the ball in their stick, right? And they've had opportunities, more of them, keeping the Duke offense off that end of the field, and it's resulted in an 8-7 lead here.
And Hackett's on the field now, number 23.
.951 in the 2nd quarter. Last time Duke scored. Schuts. You said Hackett, 23 in white. He has it. He gives it up now for Colsey. Colsey with a goal today. Hackett with a goal as well. Millen's got one. Menkey's got 2.
Duke is early to slide when Hackett has the ball, and that's a good thing.
Millen. Shot on the way. Wide to the right by Menkey.
Just Virginia, again, it's kind of that slow substitution that they run on the offensive end that I think it shrinks their ability to run effective offense, because they're starting with 50 seconds left on the shot clock versus 65. Right?
What do you think the reason for that is?
I think they think there's an advantage in the substitution game. You're running 5-on-5 and 4-on-4.
Oh,
Duke
look out.
buries that one.
Boyer has tied it up at 8. What a shot.
Yeah, Duke's first goal in over 24 minutes. Boyer, I think it was McAdory, throws the behind-the-back pass. Talk about awareness. What a play. Right, yeah, right there. McAdory gets it. He's feeling the pressure. The nice awareness for the behind-the-back. Fairly accurate. And then Boyer, I mean, good luck stopping that one. Number 41, Nunes. He's peppering the top portion there. Just a picture-perfect release for Boyer.
And so Keith Boyer is tying it up. It took 27 minutes and 55 seconds in between their 7th and 8th goal for Duke, but we have a tie game with 11 minutes to go in the contest. Jamison in goals, got 8 saves for Duke. Sorry, Matt, and Virginia 7 for Nunes.
Again, now we're starting the offense standing still with 50 seconds left. That shortened kind of clock.
And their lead has it. Menke reverses direction. Millen shooting, save Jamison, and he corrals it. Matt Christmas brought it over, and now into the stick of Aiden Blake. Talked about that great defense in this half-field set here when Duke has it. Matt, what do you want to see Duke do right now, the chance to regain the lead with who they got out there?
For them, look, I think it's McAdory or it's coming out of the midfield. And they've had some success in that two-man slip game up top where Virginia hasn't communicated through it very well.
Now from behind there was Molliver, and now the shot, got a good look. Nunes with a save that time from Graham Blake, and it's taken away, and Virginia's got it the other way.
And that was a nice offensive set of Duke, patient. Credit Nunes with his save of the game, big time stop to keep the game tied at 8.
8 saves for Nunes in this game. Back to Millen. And I see what you're saying about like the substitutions, Matt. And I don't know whether they think. I mean, it's not like it's in. You know, they're trying them out there, right? I mean,
hey, look at me, I'm dodging, right? I'm starting it. Like, there's just no flow,
right,
to start the offense. I mean, now standing still with 38 seconds left, like Duke doesn't have to slide, right? Like, you don't have the opportunity.
Yeah, it took 45 seconds to kind of get into it. Now they're going to shoot and score, though. They're taking a big hit and putting it in is Sunderland.
Sunderland puts the Cavs back on top by 1, but again, this starts as an offensive possession with Matthew Nunes, number 41, in cage, making his save of the day. Again, after a great offensive possession for Duke, all kinds of traffic in front of him, the foot save. And then right here, Virginia. Again, to me, Duke lucky that that's not a hit to the head. Again, I know it's tough. Sunderland's falling into the ground. But to me, Bard, hands were across, hit him in the head, forceful contact.
I'm with you on that. 3 goals on 3 shots for Truett Sunderland. He's got 32 on the season to lead this team as he tries to lead into the ACC tournament with a win here. 9-8. Cavaliers back in front, under 8 minutes to go in the game. What a fun one here today. Alumni weekend in Charlottesville, Virginia. Cavaliers trying to stop a 19-game regular season losing streak to Duke. Win for the first time since 2004. Long shot, save Nunes from Max Sloat's attempt. Big ground ball picked up here. Ware shooting, save, Jamison.
Just really think Virginia needs to value possession a little bit more than they are right here in some of these early shots. Ben Ware, number 44, incredibly talented offensive long stick player, but Duke was collapsing on him. He couldn't really get his full hands. They forced the bounce shot. Versus if he had just dumped it down the side.
Blake goes up top. Picked up by Johnston.
I think Virginia's D middies have done an amazing job with their positioning and the scouting report, knowing which hands Duke players are prone to go to. Sliding, recovering. You know, the 6-on-6 have been very impressive.
And Johnston goes back up top here with 18 seconds to shoot. Into the stick of Aiden Blake. And it's taken away, intercepted. Fulton.
Virginia's 9th caused turnover.
Oh, it's what Coach Tiffany wanted to see for Virginia. Playing aggressive, making plays, as you said, 9-3 in the caused turnover category. And they've been effective, looking on a deep shot that time from Schutz.
It was the hidden ball.
Fool him with
it was the hidden ball fake. Yeah, and I think he had him. I think Duke wasn't aware who had the ball. I think they thought number 2, Mankey, had it. Schutz just missed the cage. But again, credit for Virginia. I mean, look, I was part of a 5-8 team, and it's hard to block out the outside noise and bring your A game every single time where things aren't going your way. And Coach Tiffany was adamant that that's not the case with this team. That, yeah, they haven't won the games that they've wanted to win, but every day they bring it, and the kids continue to fight and try to get better.
Not much on that one there from Millen, and Jamison with a save. 5 minutes to go. Right, with everything that's happened this season, they still have an opportunity, you know, to get to postseason play. I mean, they got ACC tournament hopes on the line if they can win this one here. And that is going to be Duke possession. It'll reset the shot clock here.
What a save from Nunes again.
Yep.
Nice slow break, right? And not a traditional 4-on-3, right? Which is a fast break. A slow break is more like a 5-on-4. They get the ball down the sideline through X. A nice timed cut and generate a really great scoring opportunity.
Nunes with his 10th save of the day. Now driving into bouncer, goes through for Delgado. And we're tied at 9.
And right there,
Implications of that game would be for the number 1 seed if Syracuse beats UNC. Syracuse is the number 1 seed. If Syracuse loses, Notre Dame ends up getting the number 1 seed, virtue of a head-to-head win over North Carolina. Latest goal by Delgado, his 2nd of the day for Duke, has tied the game at 9, but Virginia wins the face-off and now has a chance to go back in front. Obviously a huge possession here as it goes to Menke. Here's Hackett. Connor Nolan is on him. Hackett gets by him on the pass. Faking on the shot, Millen. Good D there by Duke and Jack Gray. Gray now comes out on Hackett.
here's a good time to go.
Goes behind the net. Sunderland. Fender hung up. Sunderland looking. Now the cut, the shot. Jamison got the save. And it's rebounded and picked back up by Millen. Shot clock gets reset to 60. 3 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the game.
And right now you have Colsey with a short stick matchup. So this is where you want to initiate if you're Virginia.
Against Connor Nolan. Colsey. Still with it. Back to Millen. Menke. Nothing there with 20 to shoot. Shuts. Hackett goes back up top. Knocked out of the stack of shots and now the other end of the field, and it's going to be Duke ball here.
A smart play for McAdory, not picking that up there, getting the over and back.
So McAdory, a pass and a shot, that time by Mulliver, and the save by Nunes, who's come up with some really big ones here today.
Matt Nunes, good for him. He's, obviously he's played in a national championship game where he played amazing against Notre Dame. He's had a big goal in his career against Harvard a couple years ago as he pushes the issues, but he lost his way a little bit at the end of last year. Kind of lost his starting job to start this year, and credit to him to find himself again and to find the confidence that he had lost. And man, if this is his last game, he's left it all on the field, and he's played a great contest.
Yeah, that's a really good point. We're spending some time with Kyle Morris, and hopefully he's thinking from his perspective, is it enough here today? And his offense get it done on the other end here with 1:25 to go, 30 to shoot. Sunderland trying to feed the cutter. It's taken away by Jamison.
You just can't do that on the last possession. Now Duke can hold for the last shot, right? So Duke gets it over here. My guess is they're going to call a timeout.
And you called it, and that's exactly what they'll do. There's only like a 1 second differential with the shot clock and the game clock here, so you're right. Pretty much can hold for the final shot. 9-9. And after Duke had a 7-4 lead, Virginia came back. They had 4 straight. We've been back and forth, though. This is Menke with an unbelievable shot for the goal, but then we've gone back and forth here with Duke.
Boyer in transition after the behind-the-back pass from McAdory. Right there, Sunderland gets his hat trick. Delgado ties it up again. In transition off the substitution game. Hasn't been the prettiest of games from an execution standpoint. But it means a lot to these guys. 9-9, season on the line.
Matt, let's start with the Duke huddle here. What are you thinking coming out of the timeout with what they want to do with 1:02 remaining? As you said, they can hold for the final shot.
Look, I think they're going to do one of two things, right? I think they are going to spin the ball, eat 20, 30 seconds off the clock, and then really start to initiate that. And it's either going to be a two-man game up front with one of the midfielders, or they're going to go to their senior McAdory, right? Like, he's the most experienced player. Give him the ball, let him create. He's been here before, and he's an electric athlete. So, like, that to me, I think they've had the most success with some of the picks in front of the cage, but I also have a hard time thinking you don't go to your guy, right? Like, this is the moment. Yeah. This is his senior year. Like, let him cook.
Okay, what about for Virginia? Their defense has been spectacular in the 6-on-6, right? They've been aggressive. You seeing more of the same here, or what do you got to do with your Virginia?
Some teams may come out in the zone. Nunes has been playing well, but I think for them on the 6-on-6, they've been very good. I think they're comfortable with their matchups. I'd be shocked if they come out doing anything different. It's just going to be really important for them off ball to match up and talk through any type of picks on ball.
Winner gets the final spot in the ACC tournament next week. The loser is out. If it's Virginia, their season is over. If Duke loses, they still have an opportunity for an at-large berth to the tournament. That's what's at stake here with 1:02 to go. We're back in action. Duke possession, and it is McAdory that has it. Don't need to worry about the shot clock. Half a second differential. We're down to 40 seconds remaining here. McAdory still with it. He had the first goal of the game today for Duke, as they scored 3 straight to start. They had a stretch of almost 28 minutes where they did not score. And now it's tied at 9. 20 seconds left in regulation. Andrew McAdory goes behind the net. Molliver back up top here. 7 seconds remaining. The ball is loose. It was Kershus who tried to get it. Virginia has it. Throws it down the other end of the field. And we are going to overtime.
All game long, Virginia did a great job off of ball movement with their one slide and then making sure they had their 2 slides buttoned up. And Schroeder right there does a nice job collapsing down, causing the turnover and keeping Duke off the scoreboard and taking this game to overtime.
9-all here with Duke and Virginia. Here's the standings in the ACC. Notre Dame, UNC, Syracuse, they're in. Winner of this game is in, the loser's out. Up here, and here's a look at some more notes about how we got to this point in this game. Duke was shut out in the third quarter, Matt. It was all of Virginia. They had the 4 goals in the third to take that 8-7 lead.
Yeah, Virginia found themselves after a tough start. But again, this is a Duke team that they've got a great coaching staff. They've played close games. Like, they weren't going to go away, and they battled hard, get that goal in transition to send it to overtime. Right now, right, how critical is this face-off? And to look at the stats for the game, face-offs, 10 apiece, tied up. So 50-50, anybody's game right now, especially for this first possession.
Syracuse and UNC is live on the app right now. We will get you to that game here on the ACC Network as soon as we are done with this one. Overtime, sudden victory, 4 minutes on the clock. Face-off is won by Virginia. Taking it in, shooting, and it's off. As that time it was Andrew Greenspan for the Cavaliers.
Another timeout here.
Now they get it and do call the timeout. He said it, yep.
I'm shocked Lars Tiffany didn't call it prior to that shot there. Greenspan wins the draw clean, but he was shooting that from range. And they're fortunate to get that possession back.
How about the second half for Virginia? They really took command in that third quarter.
Yeah, they've outside some of the subtle miscues. When they've been on their 6-6, when they played patient, sound offense, they've looked pretty good, right? And right here, Sunderland nets his third of the game to give them the lead at the time. And again, this is a Virginia team. What I don't want to see here is just a lot of standing around. Run your offense, give it to whoever you think can create that separation early on, get Duke sliding. But again, you can be patient. They have 71 seconds now on the shot clock to get in their offense. You don't have to take the first one, but they need to take the right one.
The season is on the line here. They need to win to keep this season going and get to the ACC tournament. The last regular season win, as we said numerous times in this game today, was back on April 17th, 2004 against this Duke team. They've lost 19 straight in the regular season. And Lars Tiffany and this group on alumni weekend. A beautiful day in Charlottesville, trying to get it done and get ready for next weekend. What do they have coming out of this possession? Here we go. Overtime. Millet.
I think they're going to move it back up top to Hackett here, who's now going to have a short stick matchup.
He has it against Jack Gray. Sunderland, defender falls down, tries to feed it into the middle. Nobody was home, but they do recover it from behind the net with Hackett.
Lucky offense here. You can't make that feed to the crease. You can't fight Town Hall. As Coach Sarja would say, by feeding it, it's fool's gold to feed the open man in the crease with their back facing the cage.
Colsey runs it behind the net. The shot clock is at 20. Hackett drives in, shot saved Jamison. Man.
What a save from Jamison.
13 on the day for Patrick Jamison. Now it's Duke's opportunity, and they're going to lose the ball, and it's going to be picked up by Erdman. Will Erdman for Virginia.
Virginia doesn't have a timeout now. They use their one timeout.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the first overtime period. Up to Schutz. Matt, do you have these calls from the sideline on the especially in these end of the game situations? You use that timeout like you said. Now what do you think's happening over there? You have these that you've worked on in practice.
I think you run your core offense.
Shot deflected. Schutz. Loose ball, and it's picked up by Virginia. Menke into the middle of the shot for the win. Jamison saves it. He's sitting on it.
What a save from Jamison. A great opportunity for Virginia to end the 19 years of frustration.
Jamison's got 14 saves on the day. Jake Wilson brings it over now. And Duke is going to use their timeout to set something up with 1:20 to go in overtime. How about this save from Jamison?
Menke with a nice pass. And again to Schutz. It goes up his shorts, it looks like. Gets through his 5-hole, but bounces. Let's take a look here. I really do think that got stuck in his pant leg and stayed out of the cage. He has been outstanding today. Stealing one from Virginia and giving Duke.
High.
Yeah, I mean, he's been awesome and making the big saves in the big moments.
All right, the last time when Duke had the ball, Matt, at the end of regulation, you sent McAdory, and he had it for a long time before they started. Now, they've got 1:20 left, 63 on the shot clock, so 17-second differential. What are you thinking here in overtime?
I certainly would take a different approach. I didn't love the end of the first, or the end of the game offensive set where they just had McAdory sit on the ball, hold it for 50, 60 seconds as the clock counts down. Right? Like, I'm always a fan of, like, move the ball, get the defense expanding and contracting, and because that's where the opportunities come off ball versus, hey, look, here, he's going to initiate. We all know where our matchups are. You don't create chaos. So to me, Duke's got to get the ball spinning here. Again, do you start with McAdory? Do you spin it around to get it to him? Maybe, but I also like they've had some success in the two-man game in front of the cage, particularly as Virginia hasn't communicated through that so well.
Duke coach John Danowski on the left, Lars Tiffany for Virginia on the right. Season on the line here, especially for the Cavaliers. A win, their season's done, or loss, their season's done. A win, they're on to the ACC tournament. Duke has at-large opportunity potentially available if they don't win this and don't play in the ACC tournament. Here is McAdory, goes down, the ball is loose. Who wants it? Still loose, and it somehow gets into the stick of Ware. Ben Ware's got it.
Noah Chismar gets the ground ball, keeps churning his feet. And then Ware with the awareness to get the loose ball. Virginia better be on sides here. Timeout.
Look out. They don't have a timeout. The ball is taken away.
That's right. Thought we were in the second.
McAdory. Under 40 seconds to go. The shot for the win. They get it by Ben Johnston. And Duke and the streak over Virginia continues. 20 regular season wins in a row. They win it 10-9. to advance to the ACC tournament.
The story of Virginia's season, not able to make the big play at the big moment, and credit Duke for knowing how to win. Jamison in the cage makes that amazing save, and then kind of chaotic. Middle of the field clear from Virginia. You got Ware over the midfield matched up against a long stick and Christmas. They turn it over and Duke makes them pay in transition. Right here, McAdory over to Johnson, who's got range. The bounce shot near side. The 8th different goal scorer for the Blue Devils. Sends them to the ACC tournament next week in Charlotte and ends the season for the Virginia Cavaliers. The accuracy, the power, the release. Credit both teams, they gave it their all. Duke just made the bigger play at the bigger moment. Credit Jamison with that game-saving save earlier on in the first overtime.
The streak continues, and Virginia's season done as Duke moves on to the ACC tournament with this overtime win, 10-9. From Matt Ward, I'm Mike Corey. Thanks to our producer.